Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Small Talk Arkansas. Today is Therapy Thursday.
It is.
April 23rd, 2020. This is Season 1, Episode 19.
19 episodes?
19 episodes. We've been doing this for 4 weeks now.
We have.
Oh my
gosh.
So welcome to the show. Welcome to our Coronacation Kitchen Table Studio. I'm your host, Jason Martin.
And I'm Tessa Wilmans.
And we appreciate you being with us this morning.
Yeah. Welcome to the kitchen table.
Welcome. On today's show,
we've got Therapy Thursday.
It is Therapy
Thursday. We have my friend Stacy Kinzler coming on, and she is not only a therapist, but she is also a yoga instructor.
She does all the things.
She does all the things.
Mind, body,
soul, spirit, all the things.
Sweet.
The bendy things, the all the things. So hopefully she's going to talk some sense into us.
She's got her work cut out for her.
She does. And also coming up on Shit We're Into.
Yeah,
because we're still into shit after 4 weeks. Can you believe it?
4 weeks, we still got a lot of shit.
We do. We're going to talk about apps that we're into.
Talk about phone apps.
Yeah.
So Android, iPhone, all the phones.
We're an Android iPhone house. We're a house divided.
Yeah, well, not really divided. You're just broken. So we're going to talk about phone apps on that section of the show today. Some other stuff that we're going to talk about is coming up. This is week 4 of us doing the show.
It is.
Next week, we're going to take a change and we're going to adjust the show format a little bit.
We are.
Make it a little bit easier on our lives for doing the show.
Yes, and maybe an even more enjoyable experience for y'all.
For the feedback that we're getting, we want to adjust it a little bit for you guys, and we're going to make some adjustments starting next week. Buckle up, put your seat belts on.
Tune in.
We're not going to, tomorrow will be the last day that we bring the coronavirus news to you on a daily basis.
Yes.
So if that's something that you are wanting, let us know, and we might figure out a different format to get that information to you to continue doing it. But it just, the production of the show, doing the news segment, doing the interview segment, lining up all the interviews, making all of that work and their time schedule and our time schedules, and then the shit we're into every day. And then the post-production editing of all of that.
It's become a job.
And then the upload time that it takes from the post-production editing to processing, from processing to uploading to YouTube, to all the thumbnails, to all the descriptions, to all the it's a lot of work, guys.
It is a lot of work. It's absolutely a lot of work. And we want to deliver you the content that you want to hear.
That's what we're trying to do. So we'd like to adjust the show. If you still want the daily COVID news, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out. We'll figure out a way to get that to you. But it'll be a different format than what we currently do, the way we're doing it. So that's what we're going to bring to you next week. Shows are going to be a little shorter.
They're going to change.
They're going to be quite a bit shorter. Shows will be segments. So you can listen to the segments or watch the segments if you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on YouTube. You can watch what you want to watch, listen to what you want to listen to, and
turn the rest of it off.
Miss the rest of it.
Well, whatever floats your boat. You get to pick and choose.
You pick and choose.
Pick and choose.
Today we're going to cover Corona stats.
Yes.
Just like always.
Yes. What you got for us?
So currently this morning, 2,392 positive cases in the state of Arkansas. It's 130 more than yesterday. So we're still in growth mode.
We are indeed.
There were 291 the day before, 190 the day before that. But, you go back to looking at last week and the week before, we never saw 130 cases. So,
nope. So we're still not out of the woods.
We're still growing at a rapid pace right now like we haven't seen before. 44 deaths in the state of Arkansas. That's one more than we had yesterday. There's 31,442 people that have now been tested in the state. And that's 2,385 more than yesterday.
So Asa really must have tuned in and heard you.
He's gone into overdrive. We got the shit out.
Yeah.
Just to make this, put it in perspective. We've had over 6,500 tests in 3 days this week, compared to 5,100 tests in all of last week. So we're 1,000 more tests, and we haven't even hit the halfway mark.
And we're getting more positive results.
More positive results because of more testing.
Gee,
it's funny how that works.
Imagine that.
Huh. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, in the U.S., we now have 842,624 cases. That's 17,318 more than yesterday. So that's the lowest single day number we've seen positive cases since we've started the show.
Yeah.
17,318 new cases in a day. That is the single lowest number that we have seen since we started the show.
Well, that's something.
So is it because there's nobody growing with corona?
Or is it because they're not testing?
Yeah. Lots of governors are saying they don't have the testing supplies.
Yeah, we just don't know.
So I'm going to go with this number is probably not it's probably a false positive.
Okay.
The fact that there's this much of a jump overnight from 37,000 cases day before yesterday to 17,000. That's a 20,000 drop overnight.
Wow.
Probably because of the lack of tests.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that as well.
So we'll see. We'll know more. We'll bring stats to you tomorrow and see if it's,
compare
what that looks like. But 46,785 deaths now in the U.S. That's 1,710 more than yesterday. So the death rate really hasn't, it hasn't fallen like the positive cases has.
It's
not the
changed.
Percentages.
Yeah.
So with 1,710 deaths yesterday, that's still a lot of people.
It is.
There's going to be a lag time, obviously, from positive cases and deaths
because it takes some time for the illness to run its course.
Yep, and that's what we're going to see. Talking about that, that's going to be the thing that we're going to see in Arkansas, because all of a sudden this week we've had, we've
had a lot more positive cases this week.
Yeah.
Than we're used to.
Over 100 a day.
Yeah.
190, 291, 130.
So it makes sense that
So we're going to have a lag time on deaths.
Our death count is going to rise.
That's right. So county by county in the state of Arkansas, Pulaski County. So going back to, there were single day, we had 130 new cases in the state yesterday. 14 of those were in Pulaski County. So we went from, we're talking about tier 5 counties. That's 75 plus cases in the state, makes it a tier 5 county. Pulaski County has 414 total cases. It's 14 more than yesterday. Jefferson saw a single new case. They're 136. Crittenden County didn't see a jump at all. They're at 147. Garland County saw no jump. They're at 109. Lincoln County, again, saw a jump. They're at 512. So they were 443 yesterday.
They've got nearly 100 more than Pulaski County.
Yeah, 98.
Yep, look at that math.
It's pretty close to 100.
I didn't even need an abacus.
Woo! Math class with Small Talk Arkansas. 4 plus 4 equals
9.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's if you're an iPhone user, that's the way it comes out.
It's 8.
All right. Awesome. All right. So those were the 5 tier 5s. There are 5 counties in the tier 5 right now. In the state, there are 16 tier 4 counties. Those tier 4 counties are 20 to 74 cases. Benton up in northwest Arkansas saw 2 additional cases. Washington County saw 1 additional case. They're at 61. Benton's at 69. So Benton, again, by Monday, they're probably going to be a tier 5 county come Monday. So that's more than likely going to happen. Even if they're adding 1 new case a day, they're going to be there sometime next week. But we've seen 2 yesterday, 5 the day before that. So
yeah.
It's ebb and flow.
That's the way it's moving.
Yep. Johnson County's at 25. Pope County's at 36. Van Buren, no new cases overnight. They're at 26. Claiborne County, no new cases overnight. They're at 71. Faulkner saw 2 more. They're at 65. White County, no new cases. They're at 29. Craighead saw 1 new case. They're at 49. St. Francis, no new cases, 66. Saline County, 2 new cases. They're at 48. Lonoke County, 1 new case. They're at 28. Clark saw no additional cases. They're 27. Miller, no additional cases. They're at 30. Union County saw 2 additional cases, and they're at 28 positive cases. So that's the state from a county-by-county basis. And we'll jump into the U.S. and kind of talk about the coverage here and kind of what's going on. New York being still the biggest place in the country as far as positive cases. 263,754 cases. That's not there. There were 258 yesterday, so 263. I mean, basically 5,000 new cases overnight.
Yeah.
For New York, that's not much at all for them. And that was yesterday was 5,000 more than the day before that. So they've hit the plateau, they've hit the peak, and they're on their way down in New York. New York is now 19,453 deaths. So that's 300, a little over 300 more than yesterday. Mm-hmm. So kind of same thing. Less. Same thing there, even on the death. They're on the way down. New Jersey, 95,914. So that's 3,600 new cases in New Jersey. So they actually have more than.
I was going to say, is that a downward trend for them as well, or no?
It's not. New Jersey is, they came on a little later than New York, and so they're still going up a little bit. But as far as the percentage, that's a higher percentage than what New York is growing. But New York is, at 263,000 cases. They've seen plenty of trauma.
They absolutely have.
So New Jersey's 95,914 with 5,150 deaths, and that's about 350 more than yesterday. 300 more. My math. Better. It's about 300. New Jersey, let's see, California, 37,710 cases. So that's 2,200 overnight. That's
kind of significant for them, isn't it?
Yep. California is beginning to see the bigger outbreaks. It's happening out there right now.
I wonder what that's about.
1,440 deaths, and that is 115 more than yesterday. So their death toll is also increasing. Going to the states that border Arkansas or touch Arkansas, their borders.
Our neighbors.
Yep, neighbors. Louisiana, obviously still the biggest of the states outbreaks that touch Arkansas.
Yeah.
They're at 25,258 cases. They have 1,473 deaths now in the state of Louisiana. So that's about 68 more deaths than yesterday, 68 deaths overnight. And as far as new cases go, that is an increase of about 400, just over 400 new cases. So still growing in Louisiana.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
400 cases. Yeah. They're our neighbor. They're, a smaller population compared to New York or New Jersey or California. So that's still a rapid growth in Louisiana. Texas is at 21,774 cases, 569 deaths. So they're still hobbling along in Texas. There's not it's growing much faster in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. Well, 21,700. They saw roughly 700 cases overnight, Texas. So, but compared to
the
population,
population and state size.
Yep. Tennessee saw a big outbreak yesterday. 7,842 total cases. That's 500 more overnight.
That's a lot for them.
For Tennessee, that's a lot.
That's a chunk.
So Tier 3 states, that's 5,001 cases to 10,000 cases. There's 2 of those that border Arkansas, Tennessee and Missouri. Tennessee, 7,842 total positive cases with 166 deaths. Missouri is 6,306 cases with 242 deaths. Missouri, again, still got more deaths than Tennessee has. 2 Tier 2 states that border Arkansas, Mississippi, and Oklahoma. Those are 2,501 cases to 5,000 cases. Mississippi's at 4,894. So they're just about to break over into a Tier 3 state.
Yep.
They're going to go over that number. 4,894. They were 4,716 yesterday. Mm-hmm. So that's almost a 200 case jump in one day. So, if they see 200 again today, they're going to be a Tier 4 or Tier 3 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Mississippi, 4,894 total cases, 193 deaths. That's more than Tennessee. Oklahoma, 2,894 cases in Oklahoma right now with 170 deaths. And Arkansas, as we reported, is the only Tier 1 state, the 2,300, not the only Tier 1 state in the U.S., but the only Tier 1 state that we're covering.
Yeah.
Arkansas is 2,392 cases. So if we have another day like we had yesterday, we're probably going to become a Tier 2 state tomorrow.
Gotcha. Yep.
So it's a good chance Arkansas is a Tier 2 state tomorrow. It's a good chance that Mississippi's a Tier 3 state tomorrow. Arkansas's got 44 deaths, so we're nowhere near the death rate that the other states are.
Around
I think, I really think we can pat our doctors and our hospitals on the back.
Yes.
Obviously our local government, but our doctors and our hospital, for our death rate to be as low as it is. They're professionals.
They're absolutely 100%. All of the medical professionals are rocking it out.
They are doing it. I'm telling you, doesn't matter where you live in the world, looking at pandemic numbers like this, if you do move away, keep this in mind.
Yeah.
Next pandemic, you might want to move back to Arkansas.
You may want to come back.
We got some pretty good health professionals here. I can tell you that. Just looking at the statistics, it's something. It's pretty easy to discern.
Yeah.
In other news, ASA announced hospitals are going to open back up next week
for elective procedures.
It's going to be some elective procedures. So there's a lot of people that have been ill through this entire time, the 3+ months with other ailments that they need to have treated. Whether that is,
who knows, a hip, a knee, something like that.
A heart.
Is a heart really elective?
Well, I mean,
that seems
still
like
clinic. There's probably still some clinics that have been closed down that, folks can go in and go, hey, I've been having chest pains.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know. They're going to take that seriously.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But some elective stuff's going to start next week with hospitals and clinics.
Yeah, it is. And I think that he also released some dates for decisions on other things.
Yep. Gyms. So, I think we're going to get an announcement. Was it gyms today?
I have no idea.
Gyms, barbershops.
Yeah.
Restaurants
salons and barbershops he's going to announce on May 1st. So I'll know when I can go back to work. Yep. May 1st.
May 1st.
Yeah.
You'll know.
I'll know. We'll see.
You'll get a date or a to be determined.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll see what this is going to look like. Georgia opens up tomorrow. Most of their things.
Interesting to see.
Now Trump is saying, you know what? I told the governor not to open. He's going against my recommendations.
Oh, I see. Yes, I'm sure.
If everything went well, and watch this, if everything goes well, Trump will go, I knew we could do this. I told him, weeks before that.
We could do that. Yeah.
That was totally my decision.
Oh, bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart. That's all I can say. So, if you guys like what you're hearing, if you like the corona statistics, let us know. If you don't like them, also let us know. If you like, our kitchen table studio, let us know. Anything. Like, subscribe, share our channel with your friends.
Channels on YouTube, guys. Check us out on YouTube every day. We'll come to you. We're going to continue to put out content. Monday through Friday.
Yes,
so
we are. So.
You guys subscribe, like, share the channel. We need new subscribers. We'd appreciate it. You would tell your friends.
We would.
Hey, Tess.
What?
Today's Therapy Thursday.
Is it Therapy Thursday?
It is Therapy Thursday.
What?
Who did you bring on with us today?
I brought on my friend Stacy Kinzler.
Stacy?
Yeah.
Hi.
She's there.
Here I am.
No, Stacy is awesome, and I will let her tell about herself in a minute. But she is a licensed associate counselor in Arkansas, and she also is a licensed yoga instructor. She started a private therapy practice 3 years ago alongside Blue Yoga Nyla in North Little Rock, which I've been. It's kind of amazing there. She is a wife and mom and loves living in Park Hill, close to friends, family, and work.
So she's local.
She's local.
Going to help us with mental. She's
going to give us some mental clarity today.
She does some bendy things.
Yeah, she does.
So
Stacy does all the things.
Sounds like she can fix most of our problems.
Yeah, absolutly.
You've got your work set out for you, Stacy.
All right, Stacy, get to fixing. Let's go.
No pressure, right? Save the world.
So, anything else you want to cover about yourself that I didn't quite get to?
Well, let's see. I started my own private practice 3 years ago, straight out of grad school, which is not typical. Most of the time people will go into school-based counseling or some other type of mental health facility because we have to acquire 3,000 hours before we can accept insurance. So
gotcha.
I went a different route. And
you dove right on in the small business.
I dove right on in, and I did that because I needed to be able to have a flexible schedule for my family and just for myself. And I was used to that kind of lifestyle of having my own business, and so I wanted to continue to do that. And so, I jumped right on in and had 0 clients, and went out there and just put my name out there and advertised and all that. And then now it's grown into this thriving little practice that I just absolutely adore. It's like my second child.
Oh, so. I love that. Yeah. And of course, Jason and I are both entrepreneurs as well. And so we have
those babies as well.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
sometimes they're ugly babies.
It's true.
I get it. Totally
sometimes
get
they're
it.
Fussy.
Sometimes you want to trade them in. So you get a new one.
Yeah.
But you haven't been in business long enough to have all of those. Your baby's still cute and cuddly.
It's still pretty cute. Yeah, I still like
it. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, so you kind of do it all. You teach yoga. You do. You provide counseling. Do you incorporate them together?
I do. Sometimes it really depends on the client. So I got trained to teach yoga about the same time that I started my practice because I work alongside Blue Yoga Nyla, so it really made sense for me to have that training under my belt. I've been doing yoga for years, but I went ahead and did the 200-hour teacher training, and I just like having it as something to add in for clients. And I usually use it the most with kids because a lot of times kids come in and they don't know what to say. They're not super comfortable. They're sitting there in front of a stranger.
Right.
And they're
sitting in a room with a stranger.
Yes.
Like you said, it's kind of hard. It's kind of, it's kind of hard for adults. So, I mean, it's,
it really is.
Sometimes it can be.
Yeah. And so to have something where we can actually move our bodies and talk about poses and yoga is such a good tool for that because we talk about restorative postures and strengthening postures, and even some of the names of the postures make so much sense. It's like warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3. And that can be so empowering for people.
It really
to even just, yes. And so, I do use it a lot with kids, and then I'll use breath work a lot with adults. And if they want to do postures, we can, but, I would say they're less, willing to just hop into a posture, whenever they're thinking
grown
they're
up.
just yeah. And so, we'll focus on breath work, which can be incredibly helpful. And it's a tool that they can use once they go home and not just use it in my office, and they can use it in their everyday life.
Oh yeah. That's something you can do at a stoplight. If you're feeling got
Absolutely.
a little road rage, got a little stress happening, just
yes. Yeah.
taking a nice deep breath in and holding it
yes.
and exhaling.
Yeah.
Just chills you out a little bit.
It's been really good to have yoga as, we call it a toolbox in therapy, to just have that in my toolbox, to be able to pull that out and say, I have this. Would this be something that would be helpful for you?
Yeah. No, that's super cool. I think that's awesome. Yeah. I think that's super.
I think for the other aspect of that, I guess, from a youth perspective is because it's, it might be uncomfortable for them. It's kind of taking their mind off of, hey, I'm here for therapy. You're getting them involved in something else. They're getting comfortable with you at the same time you're, leading them through, whatever healing they might need healing from.
Yeah. And they get a chance to be kind of playful, sometimes I've even had clients where because at the end of yoga, there's Shavasana where we meditate. Well,
that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I call it nap time.
Yeah. Yeah. We all love that. And so, sometimes I'll do a guided meditation with them, and then they get really active in that part of it, and they make up all kinds of amazing stuff. And that is so cool to see, because their little minds are they're ready for that kind of thing. They want to be able to meditate. And I love seeing that growth in my clients.
Well, it's kind of cool that you do that, because I feel like so many kids, and so many of us in general, adults included, are so overwhelmed and wrapped up into technology and our phones and our screens and all of that. And just having a few minutes to just decompress and to just let your mind go wherever it's going to go and take you on a little adventure. That's pretty rad.
It is rad. And with the breath work, you hear so many people talk about mindfulness and breath work. There's research behind that. And the breath work that we do is actually stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system whenever we do it correctly. And so there are real advantages to doing the breath work regularly and understanding how it affects the body, because it's not just okay, take deep breaths and you'll calm down. No, it's actually doing a lot more than that in the body. So just being able to have that understanding, and then being able to go home and do that in your everyday life, it really does work. So I feel like a lot of times whenever clients come in and we talk about breath work, they're a little skeptical at first, because it just sounds like, yeah, I've heard that all my life. Take some deep breaths and calm down. But there's so much more to it than that.
Oh yeah. And there's so many different forms of breath work with yoga.
Yes.
When you're talking about this, I'm thinking about the alternate nostril breathing.
Yes.
And I've done that for years to either, if I need a little pick me up and I don't have coffee around, or if it's okay, it's time to chill out, Tess. Don't get pissed about that,
I need to take all of these things with me to Kroger, so at the end of every aisle, you'll probably see me. I'll go, the breathing probably won't be enough. I'll be in a full posture. I'll be standing on my head at the end of one of the aisles going, come on, people. You've been standing in the middle of the aisle looking for that same can of corn for 20 minutes.
I felt like that at Kroger before all of this happened. So
it's kicked up a notch or two.
Yeah. We were in Kroger the other day, and I was holding my breath.
She's turning blue. I was like, gotta breathe.
No. Because they don't have one-way aisles or anything, and I just didn't even want to get close to anybody else. I was like, okay, all right, just hold your breath, don't breathe.
That's so funny. We hold our breaths whenever we'll go on bike rides, and I'm like, just hold your breath when we pass someone on the
side. Yeah, I was pushing a cart, you were on a bike, It's just, oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, so how has day-to-day life and work changed for you through this whole Ronication?
Yeah. So very much like everyone else, we're all at home. Luckily, my husband has a job where he can be at home. He does not have to go in. He can work remotely. And then we have a daughter, and she's at home too. I'm not going to lie, that first week was insane. My husband's office decided they would close down the same day that the schools let out. And so we were all at home trying to figure out, we had one laptop at the time.
Oh gosh. And trying to figure out your new routine. And
yes. And he was working at dining room table, and our dining room is actually just an extension of the living room. And she was waiting on him to be done with the computer so that I could help her with AMI. Meanwhile, I'm like trying to like hide somewhere in the house and go talk to clients.
Yeah.
Because I'm working at home too. And so that first week was just a huge learning curve for us, and we had to adjust. And thankfully the next week was spring break. So we had the time to just like go, okay, what do we need right now? Thankfully we were able to get an additional computer, and then we were able to like designate where everyone is working, and everyone has their spot now, and everything feels much more laid out and well thought out, which has been a huge help. But obviously I'm not going into the office, and so we're all just at home, and we're managing our lives within the home and continuing to work. We're actually all really busy. So it's like we have this very active, busy work life within the home, all three of us, but we're managing. We're getting it all done, and that feels good.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome.
You know, I what I heard there, and this is, you know, my investor brain just said, you know what, I bet coming out of this, we can look at, you know, Microsoft, Intel, all these computer companies, or, you know, they have something to do with a computer. And I bet their first quarter, second quarter sales are going to be through the roof, because I bet there's so many families that went out and did the exact same thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, we almost had to. And I think about the people who don't have that luxury. Maybe they don't even have internet, or they can't go out and buy a second computer. And that is heartbreaking, because
it is.
We're trying to do school. We're trying to teach our kids. And if you don't have those things, what are you doing? How are you able to do this?
What's going to
really,
happen
really hard
with those kids' educations and all that?
Yes.
So no child left behind takes on a totally different meaning if you're having to homeschool.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. So how are your clients and your yoga students coping?
So I saw something the other day online, which I usually just pass all that stuff by, but it was a meme, and it was so great, because it was a metaphor for how we're all experiencing this. And it was saying some people are experiencing a hurricane, and they're in the middle of this, and it is incredibly hard and incredibly challenging. And then others are in a storm, and it feels scary, but we know that we're okay. And then everyone else is kind of just getting a sprinkling. And I feel like for the majority of us here in Arkansas, or the people that I'm working with and talking to, are in that we're just getting a sprinkling, and it's not incredibly scary, but we're still experiencing something. And so a lot of my clients, I feel like, have just sighed this big, huge sigh of relief, because they are realizing, like, my life was chaotic before. It was too busy. It was too packed. There were too many things going on. And now I'm able to take this pause and look at what is working for me now, that things are slower, and we're able to talk about how do we want to incorporate this slower pace once things start to go back to normal. And I think that's been a really cool thing. But in addition to that, so that's like kind of like a blanket thing that happened in the beginning. And then after that, I've seen it sort of morph and change into anxiety and fear, and people are experiencing fatigue or irritability, and they're like, I don't know why, because I was enjoying this peaceful pause. And so we have to talk about
us last week.
Yeah. And so you go, you kind of are like, well, I thought I was enjoying this. I thought I was enjoying this pause. And then you go, we're all experiencing something that is very abnormal. We have had to completely change our lives. And while that fear and that thing that we are working towards getting past is not right in our faces, like most of us don't have coronavirus. We're not like actively fighting that. We're not, I mean, some of my clients are physicians, but they're not even actively like in the hospitals or whatever. And so, you know, we're not actively facing that fear, yet we are in a very roundabout way. So it is affecting us, and it is affecting our mental health. And we do get tired, and we do get irritable, and we have to remind ourselves, like, life is not normal right now, and we are having to make some really big changes. And while they are good in some ways, there's still a lot going on under the surface, if that makes sense.
We talked to Jenny Caldwell last week, and she mentioned, it's kind of like everybody's going through some stage of grief right now. Yeah. We're grieving what we've lost, and we're just at different stages of it. Mm-hmm. Everybody Absolutely. Grieves a little bit differently, but some people are more accelerated in their grief, and some people are just now, coming into the hey, life is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think things bubble up for people at different times, and there's just this constant like up and down. And when even with my friends that I talk to, it's like one day I'm super happy and thankful that I'm having this extra time with my kids, and the next day I'm yelling at them, and then the next day I'm terrified because I don't know what the new normal is going to look like. And it's just this constant up and down and changing of emotions.
Yeah. And I think that's probably totally normal during these circumstances,
It is. I mean, well, and I think about it too, because there's so much research on so many different topics. We don't have research on how a pandemic affects us.
No, we don't.
The last pandemic was the Spanish flu in 1918, and that's when psychology was in its infancy.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't doing therapy and all that. We have
psychology was weird back then.
It was really weird back then. So it's sort of like we're out here just trying to figure this out the best that we can. And
winging it.
We're winging it.
Yeah.
We are.
But hey.
So when you're winging it with your patients today, and they come in with this, as you just mentioned, a client, that says, hey, 1 week they're good, or one day they're good. The next day they're hollering at their kids and don't know what's going on. The next day they don't know how to plan their life. What kind of advice or what tips do you give to them to center them, to get them back to maybe
I don't want to say normal,
not
but
the
normal
big emotion.
adjacent.
Yeah, the big emotions. How do we get them out of that?
Well, so one thing I always talk to my clients about, in whether it's a pandemic or not, is we have to have compassion with ourselves always.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a moment where you are, really on edge or irritable, stop, check in with yourself, and also say, like, it's okay to be irritable right now. We are experiencing something that is very abnormal and very scary. And then also say, what am I going to do with this? And I know in the moment it's hard if you're irritable to just stop yourself, but we do have control over that. And we can stop and pull back and say, okay, I'm feeling like this today. What is this telling me?
Let me give myself a reality check here.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And just saying, like, what is this telling me right now? What do I need to do? What are my healthy coping skills? And that's something that I work with my clients with always, is what are our healthy coping skills? What are the things that make you feel most like you? Mm-hmm. Is it exercise? Is it taking time away? And I know it's hard to get time away right now, but maybe it's going for a drive alone for a little while if you can manage that, or taking a bath, or whatever it is that makes you feel most like you. We have to do more of that right now. Mm-hmm. We have to make sure that we're really taking care of ourselves. And so, we revisit a lot of the things that we do just in our normal sessions that aren't happening whenever we're experiencing the coronavirus mess.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I also talk to my clients about being informed and just finding a source of information that is reliable, not Facebook, not not
maybe
social
not
media.
Social media at all. Yeah.
Yeah. And so maybe it's the CDC, and maybe it's the governor's press conferences, where you're getting information firsthand about what is going on around you. What are the choices being made around you? So you hear the information, you take it in, and then you can make good decisions for yourself and your family. And because a lot of times I think people feel like they don't have any control over any of this, but we do. We get to decide, how often am I going to go out? And, you know, how am I going to manage myself when I do go out? And then we have control over what happens within our four walls. You know, we can make schedules for ourselves, and we can commit to taking breaks with our family, or if you live alone, taking a break for yourself and doing what you need to do for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there are things that we can do like that, where we take back the control, and we up our healthy coping skills and attempt to have a normal schedule as much as possible. You know,
I've heard that a lot, like getting I mean, it may not be our normal routine, you know, but creating maybe a new normal routine and having something that you do, you know, every single day.
Right.
I mean,
so maybe
this podcast has been, I was just talking about that this morning, and one of my friends was like, I bet this has been really good for you to get up every day and, you know, get ready. I'm like, hell yeah, it has. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
how easy is it to just get up and just like stay in your pajamas all day? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I actually have to brush my teeth. You know?
Right. Yeah. So attempting to have
not something she does often. So.
You're welcome.
I would say, from an aspect of, you know, I know the groups that I, you know, kind of talk to, people that are single, that live alone, you know, that this seems to be affecting people. I mean, if whatever you had going on in your life at the time before this, you know, is amplified because of this.
Yeah.
However, you know, if you were home alone and you were lonely, or, you know, you're just single, you're living by yourself, you don't have somebody to communicate with
regularly, like, you know,
it seems to me the folks that are single, people in my life anyway, that I know that are going through this single, they're struggling pretty hard right now, especially as this continues to, you know, drag out.
The isolation and the loneliness aspect of it is really challenging, for sure. And with those situations, I definitely encourage people to reach out, to, you know, talk with a friend, what's so interesting right now, like, all my clients they are all in on therapy, and we are continuing our sessions. What I have seen and what other people are seeing is that nobody is reaching out right now. There are no new inquiries. And I find that so, well,
it is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think people feel really paralyzed right now, and maybe they're thinking, when this all passes, that's when I'll reach out for counseling. But people can reach out now, and therapists are taking new clients right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if people, you know, especially if you're in isolation and alone, talking to a therapist once a week would be a great thing to do, and to be able to connect with somebody and to really process, like, emotions and how you're feeling and all of that. Because there's something to just talking it out with somebody. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't change anything, but you feel better.
It's getting feel those like thoughts out of your head.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also so much that you discover whenever you're processing with somebody else. Stuff that maybe you didn't realize that was just spinning around in your head. And then once you say it out loud, you realize that, and you go, oh, okay. And now we talk about what to do with that. And that's helpful.
Well, and with the technologies that we have and everything that's out there, whether that's the FaceTime or the Zoom or the whatever, I mean, right now, I mean, there's companies doing, you know, counseling nationally. You know, it's not even like somebody that's in your local community or local environment, but, you know, I think, you know, you're here, you're in North Little Rock. If somebody in Central Arkansas needs counseling, you know, absolutely, you're going to be more beneficial to them probably being in their local area. Not only that, you know, once life goes back to normal, but you're in the same same boat as them, opposed to someone that might be a therapist on call that's in LA or in New York or in Idaho for that matter.
Right.
You know, you're right here, and with today's technologies, you can provide them with really good advice and support for them as they're going through this right now in real time, and then get deeper with that person when you do get an opportunity to go face to face with them live and in the same room. And who knows? I mean, you know, this could change your practice and other practices to where, you know, going forward, did you do any video or telehealth type messages like this before, or, you know?
No. What's so interesting is, I think the same day that the schools let out, so we had to have a special license to do that.
Right.
And then whenever the schools let out, the governor made a proclamation saying that all therapists could do telehealth. And it was like a 30-day thing. And now it's for the duration of what we're experiencing. So I did not have that license, but what I did was I went ahead and bought the training to do it. And so I went ahead and did it. And it was helpful. I mean, it was good to get that information and everything. But so yeah, this is all new for me to do telehealth and to talk with my clients over the phone or in a video chat. But what I've found in some cases is that some of my clients have made incredibly huge realizations and big progress. And I don't know if it's just what's happening overall, or if it's being on the phone with somebody actually instead of in person was more helpful for them to be able to like process. You know, some people get really anxious around other people, and then they're in an environment, they're in a setting where it's not their home, you know, they're in an office. And while my office, I feel like, is super cozy and welcoming, you know, it's not their
space.
That is so interesting. That is such an interesting point, because, you know, and coming out of this, you know, consider, you know, hopefully the governor will extend this and see the value in this and go, hey, you know what, we're not going back to the old normal. You're going to be able to do this, you know, indefinitely. Because, you know, whether it's somebody that travels and, you know, for work or for business, it may be hard for them to schedule a face-to-face meeting if weekly they're in some other city across the U.S. It might also be difficult, you know, if someone just goes on vacation for that matter, takes their family on vacation, but still wants you know,
stick with it,
to have time with you during that week, knowing that, you know, vacations are a whole new stress level that brings on everybody.
Yeah.
Even though it's, you know, it's vacation, we're supposed to be enjoying it. You know, there are a lot of things that being on the road, or, you know, with a family of 3, family 4, family of 5, that's a whole nother level of stresses that you get that, you know, having that 1 hour of FaceTime with you via telehealth or telephone for that matter could make a difference for that person and their mental stability and or growth. Just keeping them centered. So I hope, I love the idea that we're getting new data that people are seeing more growth, like you said, from being in their own place. That's a whole new light on this that I didn't even think of, that I love.
Yeah, that's super.
Yeah,
cool.
It was surprising to me for sure, because I was always in the camp of, you really can't replace being in front of a person. And I'm not doing any texting with clients, but, you know, to be able to see a facial expression or all of that, I feel like is really important. And I don't know, you know, the ones that I'm talking to on the phone, we've established a relationship in person and we have a really great rapport. And so, you know, they can probably even imagine like what my face looks like whenever I say a certain thing, you know, and so I do think it's important to be able to establish those really good relationships in person if you can. Obviously, we can't do that right now, but there's video and that's helpful too. But yeah, I was very surprised to see kind of what happens whenever you're working with clients remotely. It's interesting.
That is super cool. Oh, well, hey, you know, if people want to reach out to you, you can be found at, normally 3801 JFK Boulevard.
That's right.
And by telephone, 501-416-2138, and online at StacyKinzlerTherapy.com. And you're also on Instagram and Facebook, right?
That is correct.
Stacy Kinzler Therapy on Instagram and Stacy Kinzler Therapy and Yoga on Facebook.
We'll put all those links and all that contact information in the description of the video. So if you guys want to reach out to Stacy, if you want to check her out, check her practice out, if you like yoga, want to check that out, we'll put all that out there, and you guys follow up and chase down Stacy.
Yes. And,
thank you, guys.
Yes. Thanks for coming on our show today. Have you got another couple minutes to stick around for the shit we're into segment?
Yes.
Amazing. Cool. That's the sound.
That's the shit we're into sound.
That is the shit we're into sound.
That's what it sounds like.
It does.
I like it.
On Shit We're Into today, we're going to be talking about phone apps.
Yes, we are.
So there's a lot of apps out there. Some of them, make our lives easier.
Some of them are just fun.
Some of them are fun. They're time wasters.
Yeah.
Some of them, deliver news or data either about ourselves or about the world around us. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different things that are out there.
Yeah, there are. Stacy, what apps are you into?
Okay, so I discovered the class.
The class.
Whenever I was scrolling through Instagram and there was an ad for it, and I was like, "What is this?" I was caught by the marketing. They did a great job with that. It's beautiful. I'm always a sucker for that.
Uh-huh.
And so I went to it and I was sort of reading about it, and it made me do a Google search, and I was reading like all these celebrities do it. It's Jennifer Aniston does it. Giselle does it. Well, if it's good enough for them, then it's good enough for me,
okay,
right?
Fine.
I want to look like Giselle. I'm into this, whatever the class is. I don't even know.
Yeah. So I'm taking a quote from the internet. It's the practice of self-study that incorporates cardio, meditation, and therapeutic yelling, which I haven't done.
You haven't done it?
I haven't done the therapeutic yelling because my family's all at the house. I just can't bring myself to do it. But I'm telling you guys, like it's basically like yoga with, it's cardio. It's a cardio type exercise, but with a yoga mindset.
Okay.
And I never thought I would be able to do jumping jacks longer than like 15 seconds. I can do jumping. What they do is they have you do the same exercise for the duration of a song. So the movement actually becomes meditative because you just have done it for so long.
It's like that repetitive motion that's like with the beat, I guess, and you just can zen out.
Yes.
Okay.
And they are guiding you through it, and they're asking you what your quality of thought is whenever you're in the thick of it and it hurts. You don't want to do it anymore. I could tell you what
my quality of thought is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it just, I don't know. There's something about it that just took, because I do love yoga, obviously.
Right.
But this just added more movement, and that people cry during it. I'm not kidding. I thought that sounded like I was like, what in the world? I surely will not cry during this exercise. Cried 3 times.
But no yelling yet.
No, I haven't done it. Like, once my family clears out, I'll attempt some yelling. But my daughter's on her Zoom
tell
call.
The neighbors
My daughter's on her Zoom call for 6th grade, and they all hear her mom, like, yelling in the other
What's wrong at your house?
It's super fun, though. I highly recommend it.
Okay. All right.
The class.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The class.
We'll have to check that out.
We will have to check that out.
Yeah.
So are you you're probably one of those Apple people, right?
I am.
I get a lot of judgment from that.
I felt the judgment through the phone.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, one of those Apple people.
They're, it's pretty much everybody younger than me, I think. I think I'm the cutoff.
What do you use? What's your deal?
A BlackBerry, of course.
A BlackBerry.
No.
It's an Android. I mean, what else is there? I don't
know.
There's Android, and then
the
there's
Nokia brick
everything
phone.
else. I still plug it in the cigarette lighter in the car. Put the antenna on my roof.
Bag phone.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So there's Android, and then there's Apple.
Yeah.
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 So.
Mm-hmm.
And we are divided. But
clearly, we need couples counseling.
Well, I mean, she anytime that she's got a question regarding, a Microsoft computer, pretty much it's like, hey, you're using a regular PC. She's like, hey, how do you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. Google it on your Mac. I can't help you. My Android does pretty much the same thing. Operates a whole lot like a PC does, and your iPhone operates like a Mac, and so this is tough love. You're going to have to learn this, or get an Android.
No, I'm like, how does this Excel work? What do I do?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So apps that you use, Tess.
I use a lot of apps. I would probably say the top 3 apps on my phone are Spotify. I really enjoy my Spotify. I also really enjoy my podcast app, and I gotta listen to my podcasts. And normally during the work, normal work, I have my schedule and everything on an app, MindBody, and that's pretty cool. Gosh, what other apps do I use? I mean, I do. We've already talked about the Pattern. But
we did talk about the Pattern.
We did.
Oh, I've got the Pattern.
Isn't it amazing? I love the Pattern too. Is it freaky accurate for you?
Yes, it is.
The Pattern is a crazy app. I didn't, I was like, Tess started telling me about it, and I'm like, that sounds like a bunch more rubbish. It's just your horoscope and all that mess. Who cares? And
I'm like, no, just do it. Do it. Humor me.
I did. To humor her, I downloaded it on the Android. You have to have your birth certificate, because you have to know when the time you were born, the date, location, all those types of things. But when you put that stuff in and then it starts spitting the stuff out, I'm like, who in the crap has been reading everything in my life?
Because, reading my diary.
Yeah, this is so creepy accurate to know everything. I would think that as a therapist, if you had the Pattern on every one of your clients, if you knew all of that stuff, I mean, that's just like, you can be, you're rounding third base on the way to home with fixing this person if you knew all of this stuff that comes out in the Pattern. It's just creepy accurate.
It is. It really is. Very interesting too.
So, and if you're a couple, if whether you're married or boyfriend or girlfriend or just dating and thinking about it, if the other person's on the Pattern, you can overlap your patterns and see how compatible you are, where you're compatible, where there might be problems or issues, or whether you should just mail it in and not even pursue that person.
Yeah.
So Tess uses
avoid.
Yeah, but avoid. Yeah. Alert. Iceberg is in the water.
That's so funny.
So, Tess uses Spotify. I'm an Amazon Prime member, and I think probably I don't really know anybody that's not an Amazon Prime member.
I am too. I got to get on the Amazon Music.
So Amazon Music is free with your Prime subscription, and it works as good or better than Spotify. And did I mention it's free? It already comes with your, so
noted.
How to save money, how to live frugal, all those types of things. This is something you already pay for. You don't need another $12 a month subscription or whatever. I don't even know what Spotify costs, but
about that.
And you can pay a premium membership for the Amazon Music, but if you're a Prime member, it comes free already. You build up all your playlists, do all your own things. And then if you've got an Alexa at home, it's cool because you can have all of that music play directly through your Alexa. She probably lit up, throughout your home. But you can, play it from your phone, play it in your car, do all of those kind of cool things with Amazon Music. Obviously, I listen to YouTube, watch YouTube. Tess will be like, "Hey, let's go to the store, her store. We're going to be there for just a few minutes." She's like, "I've got a few things to do," and 45 minutes or an hour later, I've watched nothing but YouTube, and it's like I'm prepared because YouTube goes everywhere with me. iHeartRadio is where I watch all
Always
of
find other things
my
to do.
podcasts. So that's the iHeartRadio. Then of course there is Fitbit. Fitbit gives you a lot of
the Fitbit too.
items, and if you pay for their subscription, they do have some meditation and some breathing and some other things in the Fitbit app.
We compare our sleep numbers like every day.
Yeah. Basically, she sucks at sleeping.
I suck at sleeping, apparently.
Insight Timer is another good one. Have y'all used Insight Timer for any meditation stuff?
Somebody mentioned that the other day. Was that Casey that mentioned it?
We got to write that down. Let me see that pen.
That's
Insight
a good
Timer?
one. Yeah, Insight Timer. So they do a lot of guided meditations and sleep talk down meditations and all kinds of good stuff.
Gotcha. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, if you like to get outdoors, there's an app called Hiking Project, and it's pretty cool because whether you want to actually get out and go through a trail in the woods, or you just want to do a trail in a local park, or whatever, even maybe even a downtown trail, if you get out, download Hiking Project, it will tell you where all the trails start, how far they are, what the map of the trail is, the layout, where other trails may break off of them, so on and so forth. So it's
cool.
It is pretty cool, and it's really well done. And then obviously if you're walking that trail and you want to have your GPS on, you can kind of see, where you progress through there. But there's a lot of things that you'll learn through that, where things may be along a trail that you might have just walked along and just missed completely, that somebody else has written up, documented it on the app, and it's like, oh, look over there, look at this particular thing. And that's always pretty cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
really
better
cool.
than All Trails.
They're about the same. They're pretty close.
Okay.
There's All Trails, Hiking Project. They're both pretty cool. REI's got a lot of pretty cool. If you're an REI fan, the outdoor store, they've built quite a few pretty cool little apps that go with being outdoors.
That's awesome. Huh.
Yeah.
But that's my app toolkit.
Okay. All right.
I like it.
I do too. Well, we've all learned some things today.
We're gonna check out the class. I'm not gonna cry more than 4 times.
You'll cry. You're gonna cry like 5 times.
5 times probably. I am a crier. That's another thing. The older you get, now I'm like, I could be watching a regular movie, or I don't know, almost a TV commercial anymore, and I'm like, oh, that's just, it pulls at my heartstrings.
Get you right in the feels.
Yeah, can't even watch Rudy anymore. That's just a gusher.
I'm gonna do some therapeutic yelling. It's gonna be great.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Tell me how that yelling part goes.
That just allows her to put the word therapeutic in front of her regular life already.
Yeah.
Just kidding. She's not that abusive or bad.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being on our show, Stacy.
Thank you for asking me. It was so fun.
Oh, it was so fun. You've been delightful and super duper helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, guys, she can be found at stacykinzlertherapy.com, and we'll put all of those links to everywhere you can find her in the description. Thank you, Stacy.
Sure. Thanks, Stacy. We'll talk to you later, girl.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So, what shit are y'all into? We need to know. What apps? What apps do you have that we have to have? We need to know.
Let us know. We've shared some of ours. We'll put those in the description. The apps that we talked about today will also be in the video description. But let us know. Leave us some comments. Tell us what you like. Tell us if you check out one of these apps that we've mentioned.
Yeah.
If there's other apps that you use on a daily that would provide value to our other listeners or to us, let us know. We'd love to know.
Comment.
Oh, yeah. By the way, if you have a YouTube channel, if you're a YouTuber watching our show, you have a YouTube channel, regardless if you're a new YouTuber, been doing it for a long time, whatever, we'd love to check out your YouTube channel.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
So leave us
support.
in the comments on our channel, leave us your link for your YouTube channel, and we're going to go check that out.
We will.
We'll follow you. We'll subscribe.
We will. We'll do all the things.
We'll like, comment on your videos, and so leave us that information. If you've got a podcast, kind of the same thing, whether it's a YouTube channel or a podcast, we'd love to check out what it is that you're doing. So
what are you talking about? We want to know.
Yeah. New to the game like us, or you guys been doing it for years, we would love to follow you and know more about what our listeners have got going on. So keep us informed. Is there something that you want to hear us talk about, or would you like to be a guest on our show? Tomorrow is Friday. Friday. On Friday, tomorrow, we're going to have Lisa Cornwell.
Cool.
Lisa is, other than being, she played golf, University of Arkansas. She's been a sportscaster for years on NBC, ABC, CBS, all the S's.
All the things.
Probably Fox. She was with the Pac-10, I think, SEC. Lisa's done a lot of stuff. She's been with the Golf Channel for a very long time now. I think she's 7 years at the Golf Channel. She's been the host of Golf Central, which is their premier show on the Golf Channel. She's done interviews with Tiger Woods. She's done interviews with Bill Clinton. She's done interviews with all the bigs. If they play golf today or played golf recently,
or have played golf ever,
she's interviewed them.
Oh,
so she is super funny, super intelligent, and excited about having her on the show.
I'm excited to hear from her.
She'll be on the show tomorrow. So if you want to be on the show, or there's somebody that you'd like us to interview, put it in the comments. Let us know. We'd love to bring you more information that you want to hear.
Absolutely.
If you've got something you want to promote, whether that's an event, a product, a service, a business, let us know.
Anything.
We'd love to have you on.
We would.
Leave us a comment.
Do it. And, remember, y'all, stay safe, wash your hands, call your therapist.
Do it. We have therapy Thursday, every Thursday. We'll continue that route, even though our show will begin to change next week.
Yeah, we're
4 weeks into this out, we figured out a little things that we want to do a little bit differently, based on comments from you guys,
and provide you what you want to hear.
Yes. So please subscribe to the channel, like the videos. Please tell your friends about us.
Share Small Talk Arkansas with your peeps, dudes.
It's real easy just to forward it through all the social media that's out there. It's real easy to copy the little web link and send it to somebody that might need or want to listen to this type of show.
We would
send it to them by text. So please share our channel. We'd appreciate it.
Share us with others.
Help us.
Yes.
We need your help. We need your support. So please like our channel, share it with your friends. We'll see you